Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the centre cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned.
Griffin Moss, it's good to get in touch with you at last. Could I have one of your fish postcards? I think you were right. The wine glass has more impact than the cup. Sabine Strohem.
Sabine, thank you for your exotic postcard. Forgive me if it's a memory lapse on my part, but should I know you? I can't fathom out how you were aware of my first broken cup sketch for this card. I don't remember showing it to anyone. Please, enlighten me. Yours, Griffin Moss.
Griffin Moss. No, Griffin, you don't know me. Not in the way you mean, though I've been watching your art for many years. Having finally established who and where you are, I feel compelled to reveal myself. The phenomenon that links us has taught me much about you, yet I'm ignorant of your history. Please tell me something of your life. It is such a pleasure having your images in a tangible form. I really like the kangaroo in the hat, but I wonder whether you should have darkened the sky. Sabine.
Ms. Stroham, what's going on? How in the world could you know I darkened the sky behind the kangaroo? It was only a light cobalt for about half an hour. And what do you mean by phenomenon and tangible? Okay, if getting me intrigued is what you're after, you've succeeded, but you can hardly expect me to spill my life story to a stranger. Why are you being so ruddy mysterious? Griffin Moss. P.S. Your postcards are handmade. Did you do them yourself?
Griffin, you're right. I am being mysterious, but I assure you it's for good reason. What I have to say will be disturbing, and I wish you no distress. I share your sight. When you draw and paint, I see what you're doing while you do it. I know your work almost as well as I know my own. Of course, I do not expect you to believe this without proof. Last week, while working on a head in chalk, you paused and lightly sketched a bird in the bottom corner of the paper. You then erased it and obliterated all trace with heavy black. Don't be alarmed. I wish you only well. Sabine. Yes, the pictures on the cards are mine.
Sabine, this is impossible. And yet it must be true. There was no one in my studio all that week, let alone when I scribbled the bird. I've checked the drawing and there's not the slightest sign of the creature front or back. God knows how, but you really can see me, can't you? Why doesn't this alarm me as much as it should? I suppose because I've always sensed that I was being watched, but I'd put it down to everyday paranoia. I've a million questions. Am I the only one you see? What form does your sight take? How come I can't see you? I want to hear everything, right, in detail. Tell me all about yourself. I demand to know. Please. Griffin.
Griffin, now that it comes to answering your questions and telling you about myself, I feel oddly shy. Not that this is a reason to hold back. In fact, I deem it a sign to press on. I know nothing of my real parents. I was handed to my father and mother by an old picker who found me on the slopes of Pillow Mountain, bellowing among hot black metal and broken grass. My father, who was at the time the only European on the island, went with neighbors to search the area. But it was the rainy season. The mountain was deserted and one of the regular mudslides had obliterated everything. Later he tried in vain to find record of a plane crash. But I had, it would seem, appeared from nowhere. I must have been 6 months old when I arrived. Hungry, but otherwise unharmed. In this way, I became Sabine, daughter of Gust and Tahis Strohem, and by their kindness and caring, have grown to my present age of 28 years. During my early childhood, I spent most of my time with my mother, who is a native of Katyn and Sigmund's only midwife. She is fun and wise, but by the age of 7, I'd grown bored with babies and birth. I decided to trade her company for that of my father, who had once been a curator at the Natural History Museum in Paris and had a mind that retained information like flypaper. He and I would go wandering in search of specimens for his catalogue of the islands, a book that would document every species on the Sigmunds. I'd skip along by the side of him, clutching his canvas bag and clinging to his every word. He loved to talk as much as I loved to listen. Sometimes it would be about Paris or Amsterdam or other cities he lived in, but mostly he spoke of the islands and the things we saw and heard. He encouraged me to draw those things, promising me the position of official illustrator to the catalogue when I grew up. I remember one time when we'd just come up to the village from hunting shells on Ptolemy Beach, and I dropped a monstrous conch on my foot. I howled with pain, and a tree ahead of us exploded with blue and yellow macos. My father, who could see that I didn't know whether to attend my toe or the feathered fireworks, laughed and whispered, "Pain and beauty, our constant bedfellows." Young as I was, I understood. On the dawn of my 15th year, I was lying in the easy state between sleep and wake, when the image of an half-drawn flower came into my head. I was entranced. Gradually it grew and changed. Lines appeared and disappeared. It was so real and clear. I could see the picture, but not the hand that created it. Eventually, a noise from the outside broke my concentration, and the image evaporated. It was your drawing, Griffin, the first of hundreds of pictures I witnessed without knowing who made them. For 13 years, I've waited for a clue, anything that would help me locate the artist. You seem destined to be an enigma forever, when a few months ago I came across an article in Graphica about a one-man postcard company. It said that the art was all Moss's own work, and there was a photo of your first card. It was the same piece I'd seen being drawn 3 years before. Finally, I knew who you were. I counseled myself to be cautious and find out what you were like before revealing myself fully. Please don't feel invaded. It's not like that, I promise. But I am impatient to hear about you. Write soon. Yes, I can only see you. Sabine.